And tonight, thank you, Larry, or Tom and Diane. Tonight, coming up next, the massive pileup on I-71.
And we're going to go to the home of Tina Resch, the 14-year-old who feels like the movie Poltergeist is happening to her.
We're also going to be live at the Continent, where fire has chased people out of some 36 apartments.
We'll have closings, and in just a few minutes...
WCMH Television, Channel 4, Columbus, Ohio. NEWSWATCH 4 Columbus is next.
Good evening. I'm Mona Scott. We have the first pictures taken of the accident.
I'm Doug Adair. NBC cameraman Dave Hollis was on his way down I-71 today to Columbus to do a story on the Poltergeist house here. His news wagon, almost a total wreck, and though he was very shaken, Dave managed to get out and to give us this view of 36 vehicles slammed together.
A Greyhound bus driver was trapped in his smashed front end. The Adjutant General's office says cars began sliding on the slippery highway in the Mount Gilead area, and some trucks stopped to help. Then the Greyhound bus carrying 16 passengers slid into the other vehicles.
As many as 14 people were injured. There was a report that one person had been killed, but that was never confirmed. Most of the injured were taken to Morrow County Hospital, and during the accident, a woman was reported to have given birth to a baby. We were told a state trooper had been able to reach her and that the woman and child were all right. But apparently there was no truth to that story either, just one of those rumors that was picked up by the wind.
About 5 miles of the highway closed as rescue workers tried to clear an area to land a life flight helicopter. For two of the more seriously injured people, the Ohio National Guard also sent 2 copters.
NEWSWATCH 4's Kate Malin was waiting at Grant Hospital with her camera as the Greyhound bus driver was flown in by life flight. It had taken about 2 hours to free him from that wreckage, and he had lost a good deal of blood. Time, of course, was of an essence.
His wife was notified, and she is now at the hospital with him, and his identification has been released. 53-year-old Eugene Perry from Sunbury. He is in guarded condition. Later in the day, an 84-year-old woman from the accident was flown to the hospital from the hospital in Mount Gilead.
Our Jenny Ferguson has been walking through the twisted cars and the trucks through much of this day, and she is back with us now.
Jenny, is there anything to add to what we've heard?
Well, Mona, judging from the crumpled mess of cars and semis, it is a miracle that no one was killed today. Later on, I caught up with some of the accident victims at a Red Cross shelter, and indeed, they felt lucky to be alive. They gathered at a nearby motel called the Derrick, the sound of twisting metal all too fresh in their minds.
We saw cars stop in front of us, and we had no time to stop before we hit the cars. And cars were coming in after we wrecked and just sliding all over the place and trucks sideways.
He and his buddies were on their way to a high school wrestling tournament. Alan Mace was on his way home from his last college final.
And I got out of the car then and walked out to the median with about 5 or 6 other people. And then there were at least 4 crashes after that. And one of them was the Greyhound bus just smashing into that truck.
What did that sound like?
It was just loud. You could just hear this breaking of metal and glass and stuff. And, you know, I was just freaking out.
Everything at the accident site has been cleaned up, everything except what's left of the Greyhound bus. I'm told that traffic is moving pretty smoothly in both lanes of I-71, and that, Doug and Mona, is a lot different than the way it looked today.
And last we heard, our Dave Hollis was undergoing some x-rays at the hospital to see if he was all right. Thank you. The Greyhound bus was headed to Columbus from Cleveland, and they've sent a bus from Columbus to go up to the scene of the accident and pick up those people. Our Jim Schroeder is waiting at the Greyhound station downtown for their arrival.
If you have to go out tonight, the travelers' advisories have been lifted now, except for northern Ohio. All of the interstates in our area are open. Nearly all of our streets, though, still snow-covered and very slippery. There is flooding, we're told, at Long and Miami. That's east of downtown. There will be low visibility throughout the evening, and with winds of 30 miles an hour or greater, certainly in the open country, there is going to be lots of drifting. And with the wind, we are looking for a wind chill of around 20 below zero tonight.
We're going to go to Jim Ganal now and find out if we're out of the snow and if there might be a need to close the schools tomorrow.
I don't think they'll be closing any schools tomorrow, except for possibly some in the rural areas, which will get caught up in a lot of the blowing and drifting snow tonight with the high winds that Doug has mentioned. This snow is very fluffy, very light. It's going to be all over the place, but the city crews will be able to work on the in-town areas, I'm sure.
I think so far we have only 2 school closings for tomorrow.
Oh, and this is the outlook for tomorrow, too, by the way. We should tell you that. It shows the snow moving off to the northeast. A major snowstorm, in case you're headed to Boston, Providence, New York, and Philadelphia. They'll get more than we've gotten here, around a half a foot, but things will quiet down for us, as you can see there.
The people whose apartments caught fire this morning at the Continent stood out there in that blinding snow. They were just wrapped in blankets, watching everything they owned go up in smoke. It started before dawn, a 3-alarm fire that gutted an apartment building. Careless smoking is a probable cause. Firefighters from Columbus, Westerville, SHARAN, and Clinton townships worked for more than 4 hours. Bob Singleton says the biggest problem was not the weather, but bad planning when the apartment complex was built.
One cigarette dropped on a couch and time. That's all it took, firemen say, to turn a 3-story apartment building at the Continent on Bush Boulevard into a smoke and flame-filled ruin that burned 4 hours and 29 minutes before brought under control. Because of the way this building is put together, it's been a very difficult fire to fight. Firefighters said they knew all this would happen eventually, they just didn't know when. The Continent's narrow back alleys and walkways kept firefighting equipment from the fire.
You can only work on it from this side. You have to drag your lines on the other side of the building.
Dollar loss will total in the hundreds of thousands. At least 5 persons were hospitalized, most for smoke inhalation. The worst hurt, 27-year-old Janet Say broke her pelvis when she jumped from an upper-floor balcony. The apartments were equipped with smoke detectors, but many apparently did not work or went off late after tenants were already up and headed out the door. Bob Singleton, Newswatch 4, Columbus.
Since the fire broke out early this morning, the Red Cross and the Salvation Army have been there right along offering help. Some happy memories, too.
Quadruplets were born in Columbus today.
And we'll have more on that. Also a visit to the Poltergeist house.
Coming up.
You're watching Newswatch 4 Columbus. Anchoring the news, Doug Adair and Mona Scott. Sports reported by the Dean of Central Ohio Sportscasters, Jimmy Crum. And today's exclusive weather forecast, prepared by meteorologist Jim Ganol. We'll have more Newswatch 4 Columbus coming up.
Birth, huh? A 14-year-old Columbus girl who was abandoned at Children's Hospital when she was just 10 months old is tonight being talked about by people all over the country.
The home of Tina Resch and her adopted family has become for them a house of horror. Drinking glasses are flying out of the cupboards, chairs are spinning, eggs are flying out of the refrigerator. This is what witnesses describe seeing.
Yeah, sounds so hard to believe, doesn't it? Like a happening out of that movie, Poltergeist. Our Martha SHARAN is just back from a news conference at the Resch's home, and I guess we have a question for you.
I'm not sure it's safe to even sit close to you. Did you see anything at all?
No, actually it was a little disappointing because I personally didn't witness anything. And that doesn't mean that things don't go on in the house, but I didn't see anything, and so if the force is there, it was not performing when I was there. It's called psychokinesis, a phenomenon that allows people to unconsciously move things around. Now, there are about a half-dozen cases like this reported each year. Most involve teenagers. The average age is 14. It's more prevalent in girls than in boys, and in teenagers who are trying to deal with some kind of a pressure or tension. And Tina fits all these categories. Tina is adopted, and for nearly 2 years now, she has tried to find her natural mother. She says she feels frustrated, anxious, and this may be the stress, the pent-up tension experts say triggers books to fly off the shelves, pictures to fly off walls. But for now, Tina can't explain it.
I don't know what I think. I don't know.
All this psychokinetic activity started Saturday night at the dinner table.
At first, things were just going on and off, and then it seemed as though there were power surges causing it. And then we went around and took switches and turned the lights off and taped them down even, and they would come loose and turn on. No one was around.
The garbage disposal would turn on and off, even unplugged appliances turned on. And the interesting thing about it is that when Tina is not in the house, everything goes back to normal. Tina is staying with friends for the time being. She's moved out of her room, but the minute she walks back into the house, watch out.
We've hid pictures, we've packed up stuff and put it in the basement, and tried to eliminate a lot of the problems we were having at first. But they still are happening once Tina comes in the house.
So nothing has worked. The house has even been blessed by the Risha's minister. But the energy, the power, the force, whatever and however you want to explain it, it's still there. The next step for the Rishas are going to get some professional help, and from everything that I've read and heard, she may just outgrow this, although her parents are saying that they're starting to get used to the furniture moving around and things changing. No one has been injured yet by anything flying.
You believe it?
In many ways, yes, I do. Yeah, okay. I think it's possible.
She's covered other stories like that.
We're going to be back in just a moment now with our list of closings and cancellations.
And Jim's forecast that'll take us right through the weekend. Will we survive?